Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you exactly how to do a cut crease on this makeup practice board. We're getting right into it. This is the palette that I'm using for the look today. I got this off of Amazon and there's just so many different colors in there. There's a green type of palette and orange and reds. Then there's blue and pinks and purples. I did feel like doing a pinky purple type of cut crease with you guys, so that's exactly what I went ahead and did. The very first shade, as you can see I'm taking here, is this type of muted hot pink, and I'm going to put that right into the crease of the eyes. I am taking a smaller blending brush and just going in, not trying to be neat with the shadow, just because we are going to be cleaning it up. So this is a trust the process type of look. Same palette shades, we're going into this light violet color. Love this color, and this is going right on top of the pink and kind of using this to blend that pink out. Just to be clear, this is not going in the crease. As you can see, this is actually going the very top part of the pink. This is where we're putting this purple and blending it out. Next is taking this up a notch. Now that we have our transition shade, let's take this nice glistening pink shade and putting that right underneath the brow bone. I'm not necessarily keeping it in the one area. I am pulling it down and kind of overlapping it on top of the shades that we already put down, just because I want this to show a lot. I'm not necessarily just doing it so it's a highlight. We're going to start heading into a little bit deeper, darker shades here. So I'm taking this nice purple shade. It's not too dark, but it's a good start to add some depth. So that's going right into the inner crease. I'm just focusing it right there, just building up this color in order to get that really realistic type of depth. Now we're choosing a shade that is even darker than the one we just applied. So this one's a brighter purple, but it is still a dark, deep shade. This is going to add some dimension exactly where we want it. Especially with the brush that I'm using, this is a slim tapered brush. It really helps target the specific area we want to apply this shadow. And this is super important when adding depth because you only want it in a specific area. So now we're being a little bit more neat with it. So with this shade, we're specifically targeting this in the outer crease and blending it into that inner crease shade that we had just put down. This step is optional for sure. This is not needed, but I like to do this to create a more realistic eye and a deeper, nicer cut crease. Taking a very tiny detailing brush into a dark kind of plum shade here, and I'm just going to put this on top of that inner corner shade that we had put down. I do not know about you, but for me, I can see the biggest difference once this is done, and it just makes the look 10 times more realistic. It is officially time to cut this crease. What we're going to need is some dish soap and a super thin brush if you have one. Now keep in mind, this board actually does come with this exact brush. I realize it's so amazing for cutting creases because it's so thin, and yeah, I love it. Making sure that there's a tiny amount, a very thin layer on this brush of dish soap. On these makeup practice boards, I don't honestly recommend going in with one swipe because there's a lot of eyeshadow that we're going to have to wipe off, which could get muddy very easily. So one thing to keep in handy when you are cutting a crease is some paper towel, some tissue, whatever you can use in order to wipe off that product. So as you can see here, I'm doing it in little sections and then wiping it off. So starting at the bottom, doing kind of a feather-like motion in order to get the crease as high as I want it. Keep wiping off that excess and continuing on and on. As you go along, you're going to have to get a little bit more dish soap at a time. So it is a process. It's not just one swipe and go, you're done. No, it's a process because we want it as clean as possible. A nice sharp line, a nice sharp cut crease. And I like to clean one section at a time and then go back in and kind of connect that line, making sure it's all even. So that's why I'm going over a couple places a few times. This cut crease is very elongated. I really wanted it to lift the eye and give this cat-like effect. And if you see the difference between the before and the after, the before, of course, is not done, but it's really pulling down the eyes as opposed to the cleaned out version where I pulled it up and it looks nice and lifted. You can kind of see what happened when I put too much dish soap. That was just the tiniest bit of excess dish soap and it started to almost drip. And so that can create your look to get messy and could cause an issue with it. So we don't want that. Just make sure you kind of go in and wipe off the excess. Sometimes when I flip the board upside down too, I can make a precise and more similar cut crease or eyebrow or wing or whatever I'm doing that it needs to be symmetrical with the other side. I like to flip the board over and do it from upside down to make sure it's the same, if that makes sense. And there we go. The crease is cut. It's slaying. They are sisters and not twins. I'm taking this shade that slightly matches the board and I'm going to be applying this with a flat brush just all over the lid. This board is a little bit stained from the amount of times that I've used it. So I'm just adding a little bit of coverage. It is going to peek through still, but it is what it is. Now that the cut crease is completely finished, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this look off, add some lashes, and be right back. And here we have it. This is the look we created together, and I really hope you learned a thing or two about creating a cut crease, whether it's on a makeup practice board or on your own eyes. Please let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. It'd be greatly appreciated. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it, learned a thing or two, as well as hit that subscribe button in order to see more content from me, and I hope to see you soon.